you?
I am doing great, Tammy. How about you?
I'm doing great. So we want to welcome all our guests here today and thank you for taking time out of your day to join us. So we
Yes.
appreciate it and make sure you share this with others and make sure you like it.
Yes, and Tammy and I are super excited because we are launching a program this week. One of our programs that we have been super excited about, and text us or send us an email if you want more details, unless Tammy, you want to tell them some details right now that we're just excited about it.
Yeah, we are working on so many different products and different courses and retreats that we just want you to go to our website where all the information is, and of course direct message us if you have any questions, because we'd love to hear from you and we'd love to hear from your feedback. But the one thing that you need to do is sign up for our drawing. And our drawing, I believe this month, is to give away a course, a free 20 minutes, actually not a course, a coaching call with Lori or I, or both of us. So if that is something that you're interested in, please go and sign up on our website for the drawing. And I'll be adding that link here. If you go to our page yesterday, I added that. So just make sure you go and check out our website.
We know that trust is very important for you to sign up with a coach or a coaching program. We're giving this away so you can win it and so you can get to know us, like us, and trust us so that you can, when you make a decision, you know what you're investing on. But Tammy and I, we are a package deal. We have a lot of experience in life, with art, with personal development, and nature and the outdoors, and we know how to hold your hand and help you and guide you in with hard decisions to make or fulfilling your dreams. And that's what we want for you. So Tammy,
life experiences, correct?
Lots of life experiences. Okay, so we have today Paul and Sandra Riken, and they're talking to us today they're tuning in from Romania. They're somewhere in Romania and they do amazing things out in nature, and we can't wait for them to tell us more about what they do. And here they are. So as they tune in or join, yay, we are happy to have them. So tell us in the comments, whether you're watching this on YouTube or in our page, what have you enjoyed from nature this week? I have enjoyed a lot of rain. Remember, April showers bring May flowers. We've had a lot of rain here in Texas. How about you guys? Tell us, how are you enjoying nature this week?
It has been a stormy week. So.
It has been. Yes, Paul and Sandra, how are you? Welcome to Unlocking Freedom in Nature and Art. How are you?
Good, thank you.
Yeah, no, we're really good.
Thanks for having us.
Awesome. So now, are you guys originally from New Zealand, or where are you from?
Yeah, I'm a Kiwi, born and bred. But and Sandra is from Germany. We lived in Sydney for 10 years, but apart from that, no, we don't live in New Zealand anymore. So
we're just there every now and then because our grandchildren are in Australia, in New Zealand. So
how fun!
Awesome. Now, and I saw that you actually had lived in the U.S. as well. Is that correct?
Not in the U.S.
No. We travel. We travel a lot. But yes. So we yes, as I said, we lived in Sydney for 10 years. And apart from that, our respective countries. But you've lived in a few other places, haven't you?
I lived in the UK for 4 years. Before moving to Australia, and then as you say, lived in Australia. Because the last 7.5 years we lived on the road. We travel from country to country more or less full time. So we did travel to the US as well, but that's been a while. And but I wouldn't say we lived there. No, we did travel around. Yeah, we didn't live there.
You lived temporary housing, right?
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. As long as the US government will allow us there.
Yeah, well, I'm excited for you guys to tell us a little bit more about yourselves and why and how you got started on this journey of yours.
Sure. We both come from different countries. As I say, we met in Australia, and we got together. We were actually doing dancing at the time, and so we both had danced at the dance school, met each other at the dance school, and decided at the time, and this is a few years ago now, to go and go to countries and explore countries where the dancing actually originated. So going to Cuba for salsa, and going to Argentina for the tango. So we went and learned about the dancing in Australia, but then going to the countries where it originated from.
That was 2012. We were friends initially in our dance school, and in the preparation for that trip, it was a 3-month backpacking trip around the world. That would take us to those places where the dances we knew came from. We got together as a couple, so it kind of all took off from there.
Yeah, and from there we decided. Yeah, we had spent 3 months overseas. We got time off from our work, came back to the work, and came back to the corporate rat race, and then realized that the exploring that we did, and the learning, and the cultures, and the hiking that we did at the time. I mean, dancing aside, we had such a great adventure that several years later, in 2016, we sold our house, got rid of the kids, and basically live on the road. I don't know whether I sold the house and got rid of the kids, or got rid of the house and sold the kids.
We have to have another interview just on how you got rid of the kids. I need to learn.
If you don't have a house, they can't.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Don't tell them where you are. Yeah, so the kids grew up, and we got rid of the house and sold everything, and basically our last 7.5 years we've been on the road with backpacks, living.
Oh my goodness! What a life! So, how many kids do you have?
We've got two children, 2 boys, and a daughter-in-law, and 2 grandchildren.
2 girls.
Wonderful, wonderful. So, Paul and Sandra, this is a wonderful story you've told us. What a bold step you took on just wanting to be tourists of the world. And our big 3 words we have, or pillars, are discover, experience, and transform. What have you been able to discover, experiencing all this, and how have you been able to transform?
Oh, geez, where to start? It's a very profound question. Well, firstly, I mean, we discovered not only the world. I mean, we've been to so many countries. You probably kept more track of it than us, but we discovered new cultures, new languages, we learned a lot of about history around the different countries that we visited. Experienced amazing things. You know, we went to the Amazon, we went to the Galapagos Islands, we met incredible people in all the different countries. But we also discovered a lot about ourselves in terms of what is important to us. We obviously knew before we started our journey, but we also discovered a lot whilst we were already on our journey, particularly in terms of the sustainability side and the nature side, protecting nature, etc. That was important to us because we saw these amazing places and how fragile they actually are.
That's
no, I think
sounds so interesting.
We learned so much, and to come from corporate world and to come from being in our 40s at the time, your values change, and you learn different things, and you want to learn more about things, and because your values change, things like material things drop off, and having experiences become far more important, far richer for your life, and so our values really did change a lot over the last 10 or so years.
Speaking of transformation,
from a transformation point of view, we dived into what values were important to us collectively and individually, and then we went out and made sure that we achieved those values and didn't compromise on those values. That's the discovery part. That's the big part for us of we are such different people than what we were 10 years ago.
Well, you guys seem like you're just like our perfect.
Perfect guest.
You're perfect guest because you're talking about the arts, you're talking about nature, experiences, discovery. Because I know I have found through experiences with working with youth or grandchildren or myself, that's when I learn the most is
Sure.
when you take that extra time and out in nature, it's like, it's unbelievable. And like you said, your values, what areas have you found to be most challenging? Like or countries even that you've gone to?
I think for us, always the challenge is because we are traveling full time, is that balance, to get that balance right between financial independence and sustainability, kind of two of our shared values or common values, because to find, obviously not one doesn't exclude the other, but oftentimes it is cheap because it's unsustainable. And for us, to find that balance when we are on the road, when we are deciding what experiences to do and where to leave our funds in the community, kind of certain activities, for example, that are paid. That is one challenge that comes to mind kind of straight away.
That's an easy one to understand, right? Balancing that. We had Thad and his wife, they're almost doing kind of what you're doing, but with ministering spin, like church ministering, and it's kind of like the same challenge they mentioned, obviously, but I think they live with the faith over fear, right? That the Lord will provide and all that. So I know, like, many countries say that, oh, we're the ones that have all the answers, look at us and things like that. Is that true? One country has things more figured out than the other? Or if you want to share something great that you've learned from a country, we really admire how this, Costa Rica this or this other country that. I mean, is there anything you want to share that stuck with you?
Well, I guess, I mean, we've been to, I think we're currently in Romania, and we just turned up here this morning, coming through. This is our 46th country that we've visited and explored in the last 7 odd years.
Wow.
Every country has got its unique characteristics, and for us, the fun thing is to go, here's something in this country that we would love to take away and put into utopia. And for every single country, pick them all up and put them into one country and go like, this is the perfect country. And whether
that would be so ideal.
It's like we look at it and go like, they had such great ideas. And let me give you an example. A couple of years ago, we were in Albania, and they've got traffic lights, and they don't just have their green, orange, red traffic lights at the top. They have them down the pole. So the pole itself changes color. So you can see the whole pole itself of at the traffic light. And it's kind of a weird thing, but it's just an example.
Where was that?
This is in Albania, of all places.
Okay.
And so therefore, when you're coming to the traffic light, you don't look up to see that you just can't miss the color. It's bright green and it's blinking, or it's orange or it's red. There's no excuses for you to run a red light because it's right in front of you. These are little tiny things. Or when we talk about Japan, where they have really bad sustainability practices in regards to their plastic. You can go the other way and go like, here's a really good country because they do X, Y, and Z, but here's a really bad country because they have to do it because of the volume, because of the population. They've got to have plastic everything.
Respectively, yeah.
But respectively,
Certainly.
they've also got the yin and yang, and Japan, from a nature point of view, has just got
it's a bit of a contradiction.
Amazing parks, and they've got amazing hikes that you can do, and their respect of nature holistically is high.
It's part of their religion. It's a nature religion. So it's a really kind of.
And what would they need to improve in terms of plastic? I'm just curious to know.
Yeah, but I mean the culture there is a large presence of convenience stores, and the whole everything's in portion size and everything is to be convenient for you. You go shopping pretty much every day and just buy everything that you need for the day. But because of that, everything is packaged in portions, and everything is packaged in plastic. So that I don't know how to address it because it is such a big part of the culture, the convenience side of things. How they can address it, I don't know.
I understand
make it
that.
recyclable, but
When
people in general, I guess.
What people don't realize is in the olden days when our grandparents and stuff, they would use jars and, different things. And actually, my grandparents had farms and ranches, so I grew up on farms. So you learned to recycle everything all the time automatically. I mean, I don't recycle my cans and stuff right now, but I don't use them. If I can with jars and stuff. And I do use straws, but I recycle them. I use it for several drinks, rinse out, and that is because of a neck injury. But what I see, like you said, you see people, if you have to use plastic, people complain about the plastic bags. Well, plastic bags really aren't anything, especially if you're at least recycling those. It's the other stuff, like you said, those little containers. Yeah. Constantly a new container for this meal, new container for this.
Yeah.
So in answer to your question, what's the perfect country? Each country has got very unique characteristics, and that's part of the reason why we go to different countries and learn and to understand why that particular country says we're the best in the world, because everybody says that we're the best in the world, and it's like you can't all be. It's just the way it is. But when you leave that country and you go like, that is the reason why those people are like they are.
It's a bit like a big jigsaw puzzle that you put together, and often you find I still haven't learned enough to kind of even understand 30% of it all. But
so do you guys speak several languages then, so that you can understand?
Well, I speak a foreign language right now.
Yeah.
So I mean, we speak a little bit of Spanish both. I understand a bit Italian. The thing that helps is when you speak one Latin language, at least to a degree, kind of you start understanding others. And we always make the effort when we visit a new country, we learn a few, basic words and phrases. Thank you, goodbye, please, things like that. Yeah.
We were in the Baltics, got to get it right. We're in the Baltics for a period of time, and going through from Lithuania to Latvia to Estonia, they're right next to each other. They're very small countries in Northern Europe, but their languages are very different. Completely different. And so therefore, for us to be able to go through and learn a bit of their language each time and go to the next country, it
keeps your brain though engaged and mobile.
Yeah.
Wow, I imagine so. Where is your final destination? Like after many more years, like, see, these are the questions I ask unapologetically. Yeah. You've been in 46 countries, and you're at this, I don't know if it's a peak of what you're doing and if you're going to continue, or if you're wanting to go to a final destination or settle somewhere, or if you haven't thought of that yet because you're enjoying the moment, that's fine too. But what are you going to do with all this?
Yeah. Well, at the moment, we are still happy to continue doing what we're doing. We haven't reached that endpoint yet, where we're thinking to slow down or to settle down or anything. But we have, during COVID, when we found ourselves stuck in New Zealand, if you could call it that way, we bought a plot of land where we, it's a bare plot of land that we bought, a cow paddock, and we started planting on it, slowly regenerating this plot of land and putting a tiny house on it, which we currently rent out. So in many, many, many years down the track, or whenever we feel like it, that's when we probably
may settle down.
Yeah, but that can all change. That's currently our idea, our plan. I wouldn't even say, but our idea that that would be our retirement location, most likely, potentially.
I guess because we've got grandchildren in New Zealand, we want to return to New Zealand and be with them at some stage. There are other grandparents there as well. So New Zealand would probably be the end destination for a number of reasons. But yeah, the world's our oyster at the moment, and we acknowledge strongly that we are privileged to be able to do what we do. We have choice, we have ability, we have desire. And so therefore, for us to be able to go and carry on traveling and learning and exploring, we're travelers, we're not tourists. So from our point of view, we don't necessarily go to tourist destinations. We don't go to Paris. We don't go to, all these big places that have these top 10 tick the boxes. We're in a small village in the middle of Romania at the moment, and we did a big hike today. We've got some more hiking to do in the next couple of days, and then we'll go off to the next little village somewhere else and do some more hikes. And the Danube as well on the river and things like that.
Actually, you guys sound like you do the things that I like to do. So. I love it. I like to go to those destinations and go on those hikes and see places that other people don't ever get to see and take photos. And exploring, like you said, meeting the different cultures and just learning about them. Out of all the places, I'll keep it simple. Where in the world is, and I'm sure you guys have seen beautiful waterfalls. Where's one of your favorite waterfalls?
Oh, waterfalls are pretty special for us. Yeah. We go to places specifically for waterfalls.
I think probably my favorite would have to be Iguazu Falls.
I was going to say, sorry, I was going to say exactly that. Okay, snap. Yeah. Okay, we haven't discussed it. Yeah, there's the answer. Iguazu Falls.
Just
that one
in South America.
Yeah.
So that's at the edge between Argentina and Brazil
and Paraguay.
Oh, and Paraguay. So the three
countries meet basically. But the main part is between Argentina and Brazil. And if you ever go there, visit both sides, because it's definitely worth seeing the falls from both sides.
Iguazu Falls.
Iguazu Falls.
Oh,
it's a little bit like going to Niagara Falls in the fact that you've got two countries, and then you can go on one side and you see the other, and vice versa. Yeah, and they're quite different. Now we've been to Niagara Falls. You've also been to Victoria. Yeah. In Africa. Yeah.
In terms of just because of the sheer amount of water that tumbles down the cliffs, it's just
beautiful.
Waterfalls are just always breathtaking, though.
Yeah.
So
I think Niagara Falls would be interesting in the fact that being frozen, whereas Iguazu doesn't freeze, obviously. But Niagara would be interesting to have the yin and yang of that. It's a little bit like when we went to the Amazon. We went there in the wet season, so that was totally flooded. At some stage, we want to go back to the Amazon and see it in the dry season, where there are a few more animals around and it's not so covered with water. Like when it's wet, the whole delta is just
about 10-15 meters,
and it covers a lot.
Trees that you normally see are all
covered there.
Oh, wow.
So tons of things to factor in or to consider: season when you're traveling. And which perspective you want. So in one place where 3 countries meet, you have to see, okay, now I saw it from this country, now I want to see it to another country. I mean, that is just so fascinating. I think you are both inspiring. You're inspiring people. Tammy and I would like to offer personal development retreats in beautiful destinations, Paul and Sandra. That is our whole purpose of having this group, having these pages, having this Facebook Lives, because Tammy loves nature. I do love nature too. I love personal development. So how Tammy is passionate about nature and all that, I am too. But then my number one strength or whatever is like personal development, and then Tammy's is nature. So we combined. Mm-hmm. Why would you think this is important? Why do you think? So here you are, you're a couple that have devoted all these years to traveling 46 countries, and you're still going strong. Why do you think, can you, I don't know, if you were marketers, can you persuade our audience on why is this important? We're offering several destinations starting next year, 2025.
Have you guys been to Barbados or St. Lucia? That's where we have it.
We've been to both.
In the Caribbean, and to Puerto Rico, where I'm originally from. Or we have one in July in Idaho, where Tammy is from. Why is this important? Why should people pause their lives, especially caretakers, like people that are coaches, people that are creators, and take care of everybody else and neglect themselves? Why is this important?
You kind of answered it yourself to answer the question yourself already, because generally when they are in the midst of things and are busy in their day-to-day lives and giving everything of themselves, they don't stop. They don't take care of themselves as much as they probably would like to when they would have the time. And by offering retreats in a different location, you take yourself out of your day-to-day. That you suddenly have different surroundings, and you suddenly have peace and calm and have other people around you that are all there for the same reason. I think that's a great community to have, and it's also great opportunity to, as I said, have that room and that space and that time to actually dedicate it to yourself, because we always say, look after number one first so that you can look after everyone else. And that's kind of looking after number one, because especially as a caretaker, that drains your batteries, and you need to, keep your batteries topped up.
All right. Yeah.
Sorry.
No, that's fine. No.
Definitely. Oh, we're. He's looking at you like, oh my goodness, that's why I chose her.
So which island did you guys like, St. Lucia or Barbados?
Again, both different.
I like St. Lucia. I think I like St. Lucia because of the nature side. I mean, Barbados is a lot of beaches. There's a lot of history in there as well. We went into the middle. We did those hikes in the middle, and you went on a separate hike to me that day. I remember that. Anyway, St. Lucia has got the pitons, which are great to visit.
Very volcanic art.
Yeah. And the hot springs. Oh, the hot springs. The mud baths are just. Make sure your people go to the mud baths. They are just awesome. You're covered in mud and so good for your skin.
We'll keep that in mind.
Yeah.
So Paul, what would you tell our audience? Why is it important, other than what Sandra said, which is right on? But then what else would you add? Like, if there's a personal development aspect to, and personal development, we talk about it in terms of mental growth, emotional growth, like you change your perspective in something that was hindering you. And you transform in one of these trips, even without even saying a word about it. But then all of a sudden, something helped you realize life is great. Why have I allowed for this to bring me down so much for so long? Is there any of that happened?
Yeah, I mean, I guess two things for me is one is the why, and really trying to understand, why am I in this game? Why am I doing what I'm doing? Why is it important to me? So.
Amazing.
To be able to do that, and again, another aspect of our lives is minimalism, is having less so you can do more. So removing the things that don't give you value, so you got time to think about and do the things that do give you value. The why part comes into that. So it sort of, sometimes it's a chicken and egg. You've got to understand why you're doing it. But at the same time, you need to have time to take out of your day so you can spend on it to be able to work out what that why is. And to do that, you've got to remove other aspects, things that don't help you along the way, that distract, that clutter, that stop you from having that true answer to what is why.
So do you ever find, I was talking to, or listening, I can't remember, I was talking with my sister about this the other day. In distractions, I mean, you guys both had 9 to 5 jobs. Is that correct?
Oh, I wouldn't say 9 to 5, more like 7 to 9, but
7 to 9. So what did you guys do before? I guess that'll be my first question, and then it's like, and then if somebody would have told you about this earlier, doing your minimalism and going journeys, would you have done it earlier?
Okay, so I was a product manager for an IT company, a multinational IT company.
I worked as a management consultant for the largest bank in Australia. So I was always project-driven, deadline-driven, corporate politics, all that.
Drastic difference.
Yeah.
Drastic.
So we had big jobs, important jobs, high salaries. It was great, but we had no life. We had a gardener, we had a cleaner, we had a beautiful, beautiful house in a suburbs in Sydney. It was perfect. It was absolutely perfect. But we never saw each other. we never saw our friends. We never had time or space.
Weekend. I enjoyed that house on the weekend.
Yeah.
So that's not life.
That's not life. And so when we did the 3-month trip, that's when it was like a penny drop. It's like, this is actually much better. Why aren't we doing this all the time?
Speaking of removing yourself from your day to day, that was kind of our removal and realization. That's not really the life that we want to live.
How were you able to take those first 3 months? You said, hey, we haven't seen each other for so long. Let's take this vacation. Or is that the amount of holiday they give you?
No, that would be nice.
Wouldn't that be nice?
That would be nice. No, we that was at the beginning of our relationship, those 3 months. But we basically came to the conclusion that we would like to take that time off, and we spoke to our employers respectively and asked them, this is what we want to do. Can we take some unpaid leave? And so I think maybe 2 weeks, 3 weeks were paid, and the rest was unpaid. And we had savings, so that being unpaid, that the rest of the time wasn't a big problem.
And even at that stage, we if our employers had said no, you can't do it, we were still going to go on the trip.
Yeah,
we would have quit our jobs to be able to go on the trip, because the trip then became more important. And it's a little bit like our life now. Even after this time on the road, we know that we could always go back to some employment if we wanted to, if we needed to, if we wanted to, if it necessitated it. So that was part of the decision making when we went and sold the house and decided to take backpacks and travel the world. We have choices to be able to do what we do, and so therefore we can also say, it's not working, or we're tired, let's go back to employment.
Yeah. And also to your other question, if someone would have told us that earlier, would we have done it? I think there is a time kind of that you as a person need kind of to arrive at a certain conclusion, and all these experiences that we've had until then kind of made us the people that we are, including working long hours. I still enjoyed my job. I enjoyed working with the people. I enjoyed the projects, the mental challenge, things like that. So it's not all bad. I need to clarify. And it also gave us the opportunity to, earn well and save a lot of money that we could then invest and therefore live off nowadays. So, there is always pros and cons to every element. Yeah.
Right. So what would you tell somebody that they're looking or thinking about going on a retreat or vacation for a year? Some people I'll just do a stay vacation. I find when I stay home, and I live in the forest and have a park-like setting, beautiful, where people would come here for retreats, okay, or vacations. But I find I have to leave, because otherwise I think of everything I need to do.
Yeah.
That will be me too. The squirrel effect. Oh, I need to put a load of laundry. Oh, I need to clean this. I need to organize that. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's funny, isn't it? It's the getting away part. It's the getting into nature or getting somewhere different where you can observe other things that you wouldn't have otherwise observed at home. It's been taken out of your comfort zone to a certain degree. We were on a walk today. We were in an open museum, open air museum, and just outside of the village. And again, the wildlife you see in the village, and the different birds, the different bird sounds, the different plants, the same plants sometimes to other ones that we've seen in other parts of Europe. It's just having that time to observe. Sometimes stopping, having time,
literally smelling the roses.
But it's like that's when it's important to have these retreats, because you can actually. And hopefully your retreat isn't like wham, bam, 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 or lots of packed in program stuff. You need time to stop.
We got that clear.
Yeah. Give the people the time to go off and just reflect and observe and reflect is such a positive. Such a positive.
Something that just comes to mind when I had this corporate job, long hours, I would every now and then go to a Buddhist temple just outside of Sydney and be there for the weekend and spend time with the nuns there, the female monks, and meditate. And they have beautiful gardens around, and go for walking meditations and stuff like that. This is kind of what's my way of recharging and, pressing the stop button and thinking, what do I actually want?
So something within you was already calling you or giving you messages. I love that. You were heating.
And you guys, actually just made me think of a point, was the fact. So basically, when we start thinking and we stop noticing things, it's because like I do an art lesson, and it's one of the things we've offered is to go and actually, when I have students out here, I have them walk outside to notice the difference in the barks of the trees, to notice the sounds, to notice the different leaves and needles, because so many times we don't even notice what's around us. And so if you're at the point, and this would be for all the guests that are watching this, is if you're at the point where you're not noticing what's beside you, in front of you, behind you, then it's probably time that you go for an experience in nature, right?
Yeah.
Take some time.
Yeah. One of the things I do from a well-being point of view, and again, this is one of our values that we've got. I go for runs every day, so I'm a marathon runner, and I love to explore different places. And so I go for 8 to 12 mile run every day. And so tomorrow, I've mapped out a course and the green belt of this village, and to be able to go out there, and it's A, in the morning, B, it's still, C, that the villagers are starting to come out into the marketplace, and you see them sort of going to work slowly, or they're already in the fields because it's just the sunlight's just starting to come up. It's quiet. The birds are starting to get up. It's
when you see the
you see things, and there's my meditation. Sandra does it slightly differently to me, but that's my meditation. I've been able to go for these runs and just have that experience of nature. It's like, it's a buzz for me. It's my buzz, and I do it every day. Or I try to do it every day. It's a cool thing.
You want to honor that time with yourself and create, the creation. You want to protect that, and you make it happen. That's amazing.
Yeah.
Many of us know the benefits this brings to our life, and then we suppress it. We don't act on it, or we just are. I will say the word lazy. That's what I think for me. We get lazy and comfortable or whatever, and then we suffer the consequences, because then, the body didn't enjoy the movement, the mind didn't enjoy creation, and everything that comes with a beautiful run or walk or outing in nature. So thank you for sharing that. You guys are awesome, and time goes by super fast when we're having fun. And you've shared nuggets of wisdoms. So
I know you guys already lived in a beautiful area. I mean, that's what I've heard about New Zealand. New Zealand's on my bucket list. It's someplace I want to go to.
And Romania now for me, because that's where we are.
No, Romania is great. Yeah, so, for what we've seen so far, the 24 hours, it's already been pretty cool. So I'm looking forward to my run.
Where were you guys yesterday?
Budapest,
in the middle of a city, in the middle of like millions of people, and
which is a beautiful city, but it's
very
different.
The artwork and the buildings and the architecture is just amazing. But we were so looking forward to coming to the small village.
And you have a car, or you fly everywhere, or do you have
no.
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 How do you travel?
We took the overnight train, so we're on a sleeper train, chugging along. We take public transport.
That's why you literally talk about backpacks.
We literally have got like 10 kilos, so 20 pounds each backpacks. 22 pounds each backpacks. That's all we own. We got two pairs of shoes. I got 3 t-shirts. We don't.
You don't have anything else in a storage unit somewhere?
Heck no.
You don't. They didn't leave paperwork or
No,
photo
heck no.
albums.
Heck no.
We digitized everything. Everything is in the cloud.
Everything's in the cloud. If we lost our backpacks, it wouldn't matter. If we lost our computer that we're talking to you on, it wouldn't matter. It's a material possession. It doesn't. It costs money to buy it, but it doesn't matter to us. It's material. Things don't matter.
So I had a friend that did travel. They traveled for 9-10 years in an RV.
Yep.
Around the country. But she had to have a home, after a while, it was like, I think it was probably because she stayed at our place for a week and realized how much she missed just having a home to go to. And so she travels around the world during the winter time and then has a home in the summertime here.
That's why they have the piece of land. Eventually, if they want to sell,
exactly. And the other point is as well, we have our home fix or need our home fix every now and then as well, and that's when we house sit. So we look after other people's homes.
Oh, that's nice.
So that gives us,
that feeling,
a proper kitchen, things like that we sometimes don't have on the road.
And then you're like, oh, we're ready to leave again, huh?
Yeah, exactly.
All we need is a bed and a shower and each other. That's
my
I can't think of it.
To boil it down.
To boil it down. I mean, I can't think of anything else. It's like, what else do you need? Is a bed and a shower,
a comfortable bed,
and a warm shower.
Do you sometimes cook your own meals in those places where
most of the time?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we're cooking tonight after this.
Okay.
So 6 nights a week we'd probably cook at the short-term accommodation, and then one night we'll go out to a restaurant.
Okay.
So now, do you guys stay in houses, hotels? Where do you?
We don't stay in hotels. We don't support hotels from a values point of view. We like to stay with in short-term rentals that are owned by locals, because we give money back to the locals. We want to make sure that our money stays in the community as opposed to goes to a shareholder. Not to a shareholder company that is then going off to other people. So we want to make sure that money stays in the community.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
Which is kind of sad, because there's some communities that are not allowing people to rent their homes out.
Yeah.
Which
For
is
sure.
really sad in our country. So hopefully it's not that.
In other countries as well, but I mean, I understand the reason for that as well, because sometimes
neighborhoods,
those short-term rentals are, someone owns 20 or 30 of them. That's wrong. We for example, we always look when we book, that is it the only listing that these people have, and oftentimes it's literally like our hosts are kind of next door. Or sometimes even we rent a room in someone's house and are really close to our hosts, because it's also the way we learn about the destination.
And the language and the food and the culture.
That's
wonderful.
Cool.
Wonderful. It's been a pleasure to have you, Paul and Sandra. I love the fact that you got interested. I think I posted this in that Facebook group with podcasts. I love that you jumped at the opportunity and you understood our vision and what we are about, and you came here to share. Thank you so much. And I want to wish you all the best in your future journeys, in all your traveling, and you are inspiring me. I don't know what I'm going to do.
I know, I'm ready to go on a vacation.
What a great example of detaching from the material things, detaching from titles and job titles or whatever it was, or status, occupational status, which is fine. And it's great for some, for a lot of people that want it and enjoy it. But for you to heed to the call of doing what you're doing now, and that took a leap of faith, I'm sure, and a bold step ahead. So thank you so much for sharing that with us. Lots to learn here, lots to think about.
And thanks for sharing your blogs. And I know they have a full website. And it's on our site, but we'll make sure we add it again. And is there anything else that you guys would like to say?
It's been a pleasure.
It's been a pleasure. Yeah. No, the two things I'd like to leave with you guys is the most important things for us is health and relationships. And between those two things, if you guys can embody that in your courses and your seminars and your retreats, look after your health and look after each other, then the rest of it comes along.
Wonderful. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. And
Thanks,
I'll be following you guys too. I love it. I love hearing
Okay.
about all of those, and post your photos on our site. We love
Absolutely.
nature photos. So
Will do indeed.
Yes,
Thank you
please
very much.
share.
Love it.
thanks.
Love
Have a great evening.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye.